The story opens with a man standing in the heavy rain, observing a young woman as she coldly rejects a devastated boy. This man is a self-proclaimed degenerate who derives his greatest pleasure from the destruction of pure relationships. He views the emotional collapse of others as a form of art, even going so far as to collect voice recordings of men whose hearts have been shattered by betrayal. Despite his malicious behavior, the man harbors a secret, paradoxical desire. He has always wanted to be the woman in these scenarios. He spent his years orchestrating the downfall of every couple he could find to satisfy his internal craving. His life of manipulation ends abruptly when he is killed by a speeding truck. The man awakens to find himself reborn as a baby girl named Reiko. Reiko is thrilled, viewing this new existence as a grand stage where she has finally been cast as the ultimate heroine of a tragic betrayal. Reiko begins meticulously planning her masterpiece, analyzing various tropes to determine the most effective way to break a man's heart. She eventually settles on the childhood friend trope, considering it the holy grail of betrayals. Her objective is to build a profound, years-long bond with a devoted boy, only to have that bond completely demolished by another man once the emotional stakes have reached their absolute peak. Reiko selects her target, a gentle, plain, and timid boy named Yuki Tachibana. She chooses him specifically for his beautiful heart and his tendency toward emotional dependency, believing his eventual screams of despair will be a divine reward. Starting in kindergarten, Reiko begins her long game, making herself Yuki's entire world, while simultaneously training herself to become the perfect girl that any man would want to steal. Years pass, and by the time they reach the 6th grade, Reiko and Yuki are inseparable. To the public, Reiko is the ideal childhood friend, constantly looking after Yuki and even earning the deep trust of his mother, who views her as a lifesaver. While Yuki is deeply in love and easily flustered by her affection, Reiko remains cold and calculating behind her smile, treating every interaction as a way to maximize his future suffering. The status quo is interrupted when Reiko finds a love letter in her locker, leading to a confrontation on the school roof with a boy who confesses his feelings. When the boy begins to insult Yuki, calling him a plain loser, she slaps the boy across the face and passionately defends Yuki, declaring him to be the most precious person in her life. Yuki, who had been watching from the shadows, is overwhelmed by Reiko's apparent devotion and runs away in tears of joy. However, once she is alone, Reiko's true personality resurfaces as she reflects on her outburst with a sense of panic. Realizes she almost jumped the gun by acting too aggressively. She concludes that an elementary school betrayal would be far too shallow for the maximum mind break she desires for Yuki. Determined to see her plan through to a more devastating conclusion, Reiko decides to wait until high school for the final act. She believes that the longer the relationship ages, the richer the eventual betrayal will be. As they prepare for middle school, she focuses on leveling up her beauty and social standing, viewing her physical development as the essential tool needed to eventually break Yuki's spirit.